Hey everybody, it's Allie from Padfoot Palms, and everybody is super excited right now because I've got all the food out. Yeah? Okay, here you go. Let's give them a little treat. So today I wanted to talk to you about what to feed your puppy. As you can see, I've got some stuff laid out here. So ideally, what you want to do is you want to feed them a fresh homemade diet, following a recipe that is complete and balanced. Puppies need complete and balanced food every day. If you're going to do DIY, you want to make sure that you're doing it properly. It's not hard to do. It's not expensive, but it is something that you have to put a little bit of thought into. So, you'll have to forgive my DIY. It's still partially frozen. So what I do is I make 2 to 3 week batches of food, and then I freeze them and defrost them as needed. So there's actually a space in my freezer just for dog food. So that would ideally be your best option. If you didn't want to do DIY, or you're just starting out and you're like, hey, I really want to get with something that's a little bit easier, okay, understood, then that's when you would want to go for the freeze-dried raw. This one specifically is the patties, but I wanted to show you it also comes in the little nuggets, which is very similar to kibble. The difference is it hasn't had all the nutrients cooked out of it. If you ever look at the label on kibble, you'll see that most of the label is going to consist of vitamins and nutrients and all of these powders and things that they have to add back to the food because they've cooked all the nutrients out of it. So essentially they have to add the vitamins back in, whereas if they had been using quality ingredients, they would have been there to begin with if they hadn't been cooked out. One thing that I did want to mention is whenever you are shopping for food for a puppy, you always want to make sure that you check the bag and see right there where it says formulated to meet the nutritional levels established by AAFCO for all life stages. That's very important. So just to give you a reference, this is another brand that I like to use. This is from PetSmart. Their packaging used to say that, but now it says formulated for the nutrient profiles for maintenance. Okay, so that means that if you're feeding this to a puppy, you need to be feeding them something else because it's not complete. The reason why I'm showing you this one is because when this first came out, it was formulated for all life stages. They never made an announcement. So you always have to check, because the company is not going to email you and say, hey, we changed our formula, or hey, we've decided that, we're going to take stuff out of the food, so now it's not complete anymore. So you always want to check your labels just to make sure. So anyway, this one, right, like I said, it comes in the little patties, or for smaller dogs, you can get it in the little nugget sizes, which is actually very small. I have Iceland right here. Say hi to everybody. Good girl. So she is 2 pounds. She's 4 months old, getting ready to be 5 months old. And she eats the freeze-dried pieces just fine. So those of you who are concerned about size, that's one of the reasons why I love the fresh food. You can make the chunks whatever size you want. But for those of you who are looking for something that's commercially made, the These little nuggets are just fine. You rehydrate them with water. Shh. Hey, Twix. Hey. Sorry, everybody's excited. You rehydrate them with water or a low sodium broth or bone broth. You just rehydrate them and they soak it right up and turn right back into little chunks of meat. So you do have to treat it like raw food, right? It's a freeze-dried raw. So you need to wash your hands, all of the prep work you would do if you were handling raw meat for yourself personally, you know, wash the bowl, etc. So there's those two. Then I wanted to talk about treats and bones. So I've got a dehydrated or freeze-dried chicken foot here. I also highly recommend raw chicken feet. You don't want to cut this up. You want to leave it whole. Small pieces can turn into a choking hazard. So my rule for puppies and for dogs in general is you always want to give them something that's bigger than their head. So obviously this chicken foot isn't bigger than my dog's head, but they're experienced chewers. If I was to give this to Iceland, right, my little tiny puppy, then I would sit with her and either hold it or I would watch her to make sure that she was okay chewing it. Hey, guys, keep it down. Sorry, they're running around. Anyway, so another great option is the tracheas. These are from PetSmart. They're like $4 a piece. If you're looking for ways to save money on dog treats, make sure you watch my other videos. I have a whole bunch of other videos on how to get natural treats and save money. These are an excellent source of glucosamine and chondroitin for your older dogs, and they're also a really great chew bone just to keep your dogs busy. These are, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 inches long. These are the smallest ones that I've been able to find. She would not eat this whole thing, Iceland, would not eat this whole thing in one sitting. I would give it to her, let her chew it for a little while, say if we were going to watch a movie. She'd probably get a third of the way through, and then I'll take it from her, let it dry out, because they get a little bit soft at the end that they're chewing. I would let it dry out, and then give it to her again some other time. So, you don't want to let them eat the whole thing in one sitting. I mean, they can, but for small puppies, that would be a bit too much. Here's another great treat. You'll also find these specifically are for dogs. This is from PetSmart. You can also find these for cats in some stores. These are just freeze-dried little fish. Funny enough, there are other countries in the world, Asia, Japan, Thailand, they actually use these little dehydrated fish for soups and stocks, and they eat them like little chips. So, funny side note there. Anyway, these are a great treat for dogs. Excellent source of your omega-3s and 6s, and you can get them in a couple varieties of fish. These are the little minnows. I got these because they're nice and small. So there's an option there. This is the beef gullet jerky. This is from Marshall's. So, as you can see, not very expensive at all. This bag, we're still working on this bag. I like to take these are like 6 inches long. I like to take these and break them in half. Long way, right? So they're bigger than the dog's head, but break them in half. So that one of these pieces, they're probably like 3 or 4 inches wide, you can give one to each dog, and they can chew it up. This is a one-sitting type of treat. It's not going to last very long. It's not like these where you're looking at 30, 45 minutes to an hour for them to chew through it. They're going to chew through this relatively quickly, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, depending on how aggressive of a chewer they are. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about, when you're looking at commercially made puppy food. This is Fresh Pet. We got Halo here. I keep these on hand just for videos. So this log has been frozen in my freezer forever. So if you're going to get commercial pet food, you really, really need to read the label. Specifically for quote-unquote fresh foods and canned foods, you need to take a look at that label, not only to make sure that it's formulated for puppies, but you need to, here, sorry, it's frozen, okay. You need to take a look and see if it has that word carrageenan on it. Carrageenan is a thickener that they use for these types of fresh foods and in wet canned food. Those pouch foods, here, let me show you a pouch food. Sometimes they'll have it in there. You always want to check the label for carrageenan because it has been linked to cancer. So you want to make sure it's not in your wet food. It's not in this one. Oh, let me find the ingredients. Here you go. It's not in this one, but just to give you an idea. So you always want to check that label. And let's see. Ah, here we go. AFCO Food Nutrient Profile for Growth. Excluding large size dogs, 70 pounds or more as an adult. So see, if you didn't read this label, you wouldn't know that this puppy food is not acceptable for large breed dogs, right? It probably has too much calcium in it. So, it's very, very important that you read the label, you know what you're feeding, and you know what the ingredients are and what it means. So, there are some files located in the Facebook group. They go over, some of the different definitions of byproducts and things like that. Take a look at those, and here, let's give everybody a treat. Take a look at those, and if you have questions, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, make sure you join. If you are a member, please feel free to post your questions or to private message me. I am more than happy to take a look at ingredients with you and give you a better understanding of, what's in the food and what that means for your pet. So, thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to go back to chewing our goat horns on the couch. I hope everybody has a great day. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you are notified about our other videos that we'll be coming out with. I'll be going more in depth about the homemade food that I make. We're going to do some dehydrated treats. We're going to make them for the dogs, so you definitely don't want to miss that. You can save yourself a lot of money making your own treats. So anyway, we'll see you next time.